right, welcome back to the Up North house, friends. Thanks for joining us back for another update. You just saw John going back to walk the little dogs. I'm going to show you what we're going to get into today. We have a few things out front to start. First, we have this metal. Our dumpster leaves tomorrow, fingers crossed. Very cool. We've been recycling the metal. We've already taken all our copper pipes, and we earned enough from the copper pipes to pay for our dumpster. So I'm very excited about that. This is just regular metal, so we'll still recycle it and get a little bit, but it will probably not cover lunch. The other thing that's happening, so you're going to see us getting that on our trailer. The other thing that's happening is here, you can see some dirt excavated. Pardon the traffic noise behind me. We're going to be extending our driveway a little bit here. So you're going to see some of that work. Today our friend Jordan is going to be coming back. You saw him in a previous video working on getting that new PEX line run for our plumbing. So he'll be back out here. Hopefully you'll get to see some of that work. He's going to be excavating a little bit so that we can put some hard top in here that will be more frost proof, and we can drive back here and it won't be soft, so that we can turn around right here and have a better access to our yard. So the yard is one of my favorite parts. There's so many favorite parts about this house. The yard is 1 acre all the way back to a brook in the back, a stream, if you don't know what a brook is. So honestly, the price we paid for the house is the land cost. So this house, which I love so much, is actually just a bonus. I'm excited about that. So the other things you're going to see today is me working in the basement. This is the basement you have seen in a previous video. If you haven't, I'll link it below. Go ahead and take a look. There's my shadow coming in. It is going to adjust for you. We've got some light on back here, but it is dark down here. So if you haven't seen this already, this is our basement. This is our biggest problem with the house. We are aware that this is our issue that we are going to be correcting. John and I are not correcting this on our own. This is something we are hiring, but we have preparations to make for this foundation fix. And some of those you can see have already started. We have jack studs. That's what these metal posts are. These posts are holding up portions of the house above. These are 10,000 pound jack studs, and there's several of them in the area. And there will be more, but we have to prepare the space for more studs. So I will be working in here. You've seen us back here in a previous video getting that plumbing through. Very exciting. If you did not watch that video, it's one of the coolest things I've seen in person, at least. I don't know if the video is that exciting, but I liked it. Since that video, we have had the plumber come back, and we now have our city meter. We have our, this is technically city water turned on at the house, but it doesn't go anywhere except to 2 hose spigots here. So we can run our water hose out through the cold drop to our Airstream, where we are temporarily staying while we work in here, so that we have a clean space to reside. So we have water, which is awesome. And then we have an additional spigot on this side so that we can use it for filling buckets and cleaning, and another water hose or whatever we might need. So my job down here is going to be filling back in this hole where we were excavating to find the water line. I also have to, on this other side, you might remember when we were cleaning out in here before, this was a grow room, another growing area. And so there is concrete under here. It's about 3 inches deep. It's deep enough for us to seal it and create a dry, nice space down here. So we're going to be taking out all of this topsoil that's down here to reuse. And it's, you know, just a matter of scraping and sweeping. So we'll be bringing that out. You'll see me doing that today. One of the other things we're hoping to work on in this video is the removal of old heat systems. These are all broken. We have 3 of these boiler systems that are extremely heavy. We would love to have them recycled, but John and I cannot lift them. So we're going to have help, hopefully, from our friend with the excavator to drag them out. But in order to drag them out, we have to get them through this opening. And it's bright, so you can see it's narrow at the bottom. It's too narrow for these. So my job is to remove just this post here. This post is not holding anything up. It's actually loose. It wiggles. The other post is staying because I don't want to touch it. It's not holding anything either, but it is wedged in. The jack stud is holding this section of all. You can see it's the red thing right behind that post right there. So I'm going to be taking off the wood cladding on that little wall, and the wood cladding on this wall, which is in dark right now. You can see through it. This I need to remove because we need access to that chimney behind for our new heating system that's going to be coming in. So that new heating system is going to be parking right here in the very center of our house basement, and all of this stuff is in the way. So I'll also be working on removing these logs that are here. There's at least 3 logs and some old boards as well. So I'll be taking that outside for reuse in the yard and landscape, and that is something you'll see me doing as well. So we got a lot of doings today. We got a lot going on, lots of people working. I'll be inside the basement, and John will probably be in and out of the basement with me, working in here. And then our friend Jordan will be mostly outside. I'll show some of that, and maybe pulling some heating systems out this tiny door. We're going to see how that works if it comes in this video. So stay with us, stick around, and let's see what happens next. Okay, job 1 done. I wouldn't say I would eat off the floor yet or ever, but this is much better. And I did refill the hole that we needed to dig over here to get the plumbing under the east wall foundation. So that's good. I saved the concrete to place later. I'm gonna let this settle in. Some of this is still actually frozen under here, so I'm gonna let this thaw, settle, and dry before we do that. But this is immensely improved. I found a little bit more trash here, which I can take out easily. And then the next job is over here. I'll be working next to my future garden bed walls over there. The lumber will be taken out so we can access the chimney behind, and then the spaces will no longer be divided for airflow. But I have to take out all of that bits of wood. There's some logs over there, so you'll be seeing me do that job next in preparation for the basement fixes that we have to make. Yay! Oh boy. All right, you just saw us clearing this space. It's nice down to the floor. We'll be placing our new heating system here. Next is removal of this partition wall that we think used to be the root cellar on that side and the utility space back here. We think from the word that we got from our foundation specialist that this wall is actually the exterior wall to a cistern, which is really cool. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier in the video, but that's neat to me. And then while cleaning, we discovered another problem that we can fix immediately. See these cracks down here? This is a very thin poured floor, probably about 2 inches or less in places. And there is a beam that runs the entirety east to west, all the way back into the dark and the east side wall. And it runs under the floor joist here. And then it joins up to this beam going north to south, but there's no joint there. There's no joint there. So somebody nicely placed a jack stud, but you can see it's floating free. So we're gonna see if we can get this jack stud to work. It's rusty, so if it's seized up and we can't get it to work, we'll have to get another one. But we can do that. And what probably happened was they placed the stud and it did have pressure on it and it cracked the floor and then sank. So we also need to get a larger concrete block down here to distribute the weight more evenly on the surface and, you know, bust out this section of concrete and support it better so that we can put the jack stud in appropriately, and so that this has support there. So that's what we want to do. Nice to clean stuff out so that you see the things you need to see. I'm going to put this in a trash bucket. It's a little bit more gross than the dirt that we had in the back area, and then you will see us next working on this wall. All right, this is the other side of where you just saw us working. So this is the wall of problem here that we plan to have fixed. Currently, we have several of these jack posts. I keep calling them jack studs. They're jack posts meant to hold 10,000 pounds each, this particular kind. And then we, next to it, these posts are wiggly. They're not holding anything because, you know, they're free. So we've removed the wood to reuse in garden beds. And then what John's gonna be working on now, we're gonna dig out and around at the base of this post and just put blocks in to wedge it in. It may still not be holding much, but it's a good firm old rough hewn post, and it's notched in to support properly there. So we're gonna add support as we can. That's what our project is for the next few minutes. And then, you know, it'll just be an extra to this post. It's a foot away. Can't hurt to have extra support down here right now. So we did get those removed. We now have open airflow all around the basement, and we also were able to expose, pardon the light, let me see if I can get on the other side, this side of the chimney, which you can see at one point did have some kind of ventilation in here, which is great to clean out or something. And then you can see there where the our chimney person is going to be coming to put a liner, a vent and a liner in this chimney, a new liner, so he can then repair this section of brick, which is great since we've exposed it now. I'm thinking that our new section will go here because it already needs to be repaired, and then he can place that liner in it. It has a liner in it. I don't think it goes down this far from recent generations. There is a liner in the kitchen, but it's not to be trusted, so we would need a new liner anyway. So this is that chimney that goes up through the kitchen above. So good that we got that exposed. You can see the brick debris down there on the floor. So we can have that repaired now. It's exposed and easy access. So working on that. I will check back with you at the next phase of the video. All right, John is now working in the far west side of the basement. That section is dirt floor, and we have accomplished what we need to accomplish here and as in the back. And I think you can see the plumb of that other post now. He was able to reach the concrete slab and wedge under to at least do something for now. Before the foundation work begins, we still need to move this cabinet and this table over. We're planning to move it over to this wall so that we can utilize it for storage. This would make an excellent canning cupboard down here, but it's still frozen in. It's still cold season, so we still have some ice seeping through along the bottom, and these two things are actually frozen right now still into the dirt along the bottom. So we have to wait a little on that. We'll do that when we can. As of today, for this video though, we're done with this section. John and I are gonna work on excavating some of the dirt in this section. Probably not on video right now because it's just moving more dirt. But our ultimate plan is we need to prepare an area right where John's standing to support the staircase here, as well as the floor above. This section of house has the wider floor joist. You can see, I don't know, it doesn't show on camera, I'm sure for scale, but this from here to here is about 24 inches, which was standard at one time, but is no longer standard. But in the other parts of the house where we just were back there, it's actually 12 inches, which is better than standard for today. So we think the two sections of the house were built at different times. And we're going to, thankfully this section back here is fairly small, that we're going to be adding supports in for just the kitchen floor and a area above that. So first thing we're going to do is add a post over here to support the stairs, which has another staircase on top of it. So that will add to that. The stairs are fairly solid, but they would benefit from more support. And we need to excavate the dirt here so that we can pour a slab under here and put posts across going this way, a beam going this way, because our cook stove is going to be above this section in the kitchen. So we'll be working on that. We won't show you more digging because, I mean, you've seen digging. Our next job for the day will be outside on this video, and the outside job will be to move the metal onto the trailer so that we can take that and cart it away, and the front will look way, way better. We think we have made enough room for Jordan to hopefully try to pull out those heating systems. I don't know if that'll be on today's video. It depends on what we get accomplished, but we will check in when we are moving some metal and getting that out of the way. Right, you saw us loading. We're now out of the way for the excavation that's going to take place in a little bit here if the weather holds. Really cool the way this worked. These heat registers are exactly the depth of our open sides on our little trailer, so it made a little like truck bed for us. So we're ratcheting all that down so it won't go anywhere. You'll be able to take that for trade. Next thing you see, hopefully, if Jordan shows up today, depending on weather, we'll be able to see some of this excavation beginning. He's going to be resculpting some of this area. Pardon the street noise. for garden beds and that kind of thing. So I will keep you updated when that happens. You'll be able to see him on his little mini excavator here doing a little bit of that work in a few. All right, pardon the traffic noise. We are back. Wanted to show you we're about 2 feet deep at the front, and he's starting to taper it back, so he's exposing our wall over there. We're gonna get better drainage in here during this process. So this is very exciting. He's gonna keep going on back and then around the edge of the building there, so that we can have a place to park back there, and then guests can park when they visit us up on the street side driveway. So this is looking great. I'm going to try to back up, pardon the noise, see if I can back up and show you. He also was able to grade in, I think you can see the grade. This is our turnaround space right here in the front, and it used to drop off like a good 2 feet. So he's graded in where it's more of a kind of a gentle slope over here, and then we have space to put our gardening area, raised garden beds and that kind of stuff back here. So I'm very pleased with all of this progress. I think it's so exciting to see that. He's going to be putting road base in there. The stake here is about as wide as he'll be in the back. You saw me at the beginning of that time lapse gathering up leaves. I know that seems silly, but I knew he was gonna put dirt over top, and I wanted to save the leaves for organic material for my compost bins I'm gonna be building back here. So that's what I was doing with that. And this wire that we found in the woods is going to be the beginning of our compost bin. So I wanted to save that material so I can start that project for gardening season, and that is exciting to me. I hope you enjoyed this. We're going to stop the video here. That way we can start other things while we wait for Jordan to come back. We have everything cleared out of the basement for him to be able to come in and hopefully drag out those big, heavy heating blocks. So we'll be doing that. Hopefully in the next video, we'll see. I don't even know what we're going to get into. I'll just take you along for the journey with us. So I hope you're enjoying it as much as I am. And I hope that you plan to join us back here at the Up North house every Thursday morning for an update to see what we are getting done.